This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/psychetruth.
Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a full back massage for the lovely Aaliyah. Let's go ahead and get started. If you don't have time to watch this video right now, go ahead and save to your watch later and just watch whenever you get a chance. So one of the best ways that you can start a full back massage is by working on the myofascial tissue, the connective tissue. And I find that that really helps the nerves to wake up a little bit and the muscles to be a little bit more responsive. And so it can sometimes feel like a rug burn a little bit. So you feel like you're catching the skin. I'm just going to drag the heels of your hands across that skin. So you're not trying to work on the muscle fiber, you're working on the connective tissue that rests above it. If the skin is too slippery, you're not going to be able to get the right kind of traction. So just make sure that you get that feeling of catching the skin. If you see a reddening of the skin, that's a good sign that you're doing the right thing. And I am working on top of these shoulder bones above the infraspinatus and these rotator cuff muscles. This is more shoulder than back, but really helpful to the back. There are a lot of areas on the body that's really hard to do myofascial work, or it's harder. The back is definitely the easiest place, the most exposed place. And I'm going to start to work my way down, just catching the skin. You're not going to be nearly as effective if you rush. Just catching that skin, and you can probably see all of my hands are on Aaliyah's back, but it's mostly the heels of my hands that I'm doing this kind of work with. And I'm going to start to just angle my hands a little bit and bringing that myofascial work around above the lats. And it's okay if you feel like your palms are starting to sweat a little bit. It's okay to just pick your palms up for a second and make those kinds of adjustments. The most important thing is that you're using proper technique. And it's also important that you communicate to your client why you're doing this, because it might feel a little bit weird. It might feel like a waste of time to people that are used to just getting deep tissue work. So it's going to feel a little bit more challenging because Aaliyah is a very tiny, she's a really tiny torso. So I just have less area to work with. So I might need to step to the side of the table, just start using one hand. So I'm going to go ahead and definitely feel a lot more comfortable at this point now that I am working from a diagonal. I'm using my finger pads a little bit to do this kind of work, but it's mostly the heel of my hand. And it might look like I'm pressing down, but I'm really not. So I'm not pressing down on Aaliyah's spine, I'm just catching the skin. It's really good if you can bring this kind of work all the way towards the iliac crest and stretch some of this out. But it is going to feel a little harder just because you don't have as much area to work on. Without losing contact, I'm just going to do the same thing. On this opposite side. So as I pick my hand up and make these little transitions, I'm not losing contact. It just helps with flow, and it can be a little bit distracting for your client if you're always picking your hands. You're always taking your hands off. And don't over focus as well. Like, this requires focus, but just take it a little easy too. And I'm going to go ahead and just land on the area around the spine. And I'm going to work on this connective tissue around here. You can work your way down and up. It's really good to work on this area from different angles. You don't need to press hard. You just need to use good technique. And this is really healing for the nerves in the muscle. Which is often kind of forgotten about when we're talking about health of the muscles. And I'm starting to run out of room here, so I'm just gonna finish. I'm gonna drag my hands up, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab some oil. Start with the work in the muscles. I would do some compressive holds if I hadn't spent a good 10 minutes with that myofascial work. I'm just gonna go right into some effleurage strokes. Keeping my hands as relaxed as possible, but firm at the same time. And if you don't have a lot of time, think of ways that you can work most effectively from the front of the table and not have to walk from side to side. So just learning how to manage your time really well without compromising the quality of the massage that you're offering. And really just starting to get into that muscle fiber. Smaller framed women are definitely the most challenging to work on. Because you're working on a smaller frame. You have less room for error. There's usually more bony structures to think about and avoid. And also, smaller framed people can often just have higher muscle tension, just in general. So they need deeper work more. And just thinking of ways that I can offer a good full back massage without going from right to left, just staying right where I am. These long effleura strokes with a more compressive technique is really helpful to just kind of iron out some of that tension in a pretty time efficient way. But you do have to be careful as you pass over those hip bones. And I'm gonna focus on these upper traps using the outer edges of my hands to start to work in there a little bit more. Just tracing these shoulder bones, these scapulas, to know that I'm on the right spot. It feels really good if you bring that effleura stroke into the upper trap as it narrows into the neck. It feels so much more complete and satisfying than stopping right at the top of the shoulders. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with a little bit of elbow work, landing on these rhomboids and just being careful not to hit the vertebrae. You can certainly do some deeper work in the upper traps with this position and technique, but it doesn't have the finesse that I prefer to work with. It's more like a rolfing type feeling where you're just dragging the elbows through that muscle fiber. So I'm focused more on the rhomboids and just doing some more superficial work on the traps. Because I want to keep that finesse, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap my thumbs around. And this is a time where I think it's worth it to use my thumbs. And this is just a sequence that I would use if I don't have a whole lot of time trying to fit in the whole back. Can feel really good if you use your right hand to just get into those lats a little bit and work on the upper trap at the same time with the opposite hand. This is not a sequence that I would use if somebody really needed deeper work, more focused work in the traps. And there's something so nice about that work along the lats. It's just an easy way to finish as well. You don't have to think too much about it. And it feels really good. And of course, finishing into the neck. And that is all for today. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's video, you should check out our Patreon page where you'll find some really great exclusive content. I look forward to seeing you there.
Introducing Yoga Plus, offering a free series every month with over 300 different videos. Take control of your health. Work out anytime, anywhere. Yoga Plus. Download now for free.